Well, hello. After 30 years in business, I thought I'd jump on here and just share some insights about what I observe in people when they're in the world, including us, including me from time to time, when we're feeling called to do something or to work with somebody, or, there's something that's absolutely true for us to do or is in our land of plenty. And we often put it off to the side and go, yeah, no, I'm not going, because we've already got our egoic resistance there. And then when we try and break down why we're not going with our heart and what's true for us, there's a few key reasons, and they're pretty universal. So, actually, the number one reason why people won't invest in things and go forward with things is actually time. We feel that time is such a limited resource, and we just don't want to avail ourselves to something that's new or outside of our comfort zone. And so when you're asking yourself whether something is true for you, just imagine what it would be like to, if time was no issue and you could just get on with it, and if that is something that helps you to make that decision. Because we can always find time for things that we love, and we also find time for things that give us instant gratification and actually don't really serve us in many ways. So if you could imagine how much time you spend scrolling on your phone, or how much Netflix you watch, or whatever your go-to is for time wasting, then we can always make more of it. So that's usually a pretty poor excuse. The next one is money. So money is obviously one where we all just go, okay, no money, no further, that's it, end of the road. But actually, as a magician, the opposite is often found to be true. Once we're called into something that's true for us and we start to take the action steps to unfold that and to follow what's true, the money tends to show up. And I know that sounds a little bit woo woo, but actually, it's very true. Sometimes it can happen because of, cool, fun things like you might win someone or get something or get a raise or something like that. And sometimes you just get a great idea and you're actually able to bring new money in through a new idea or a business idea, or working with somebody else or whatever it is. So, also, money is never really the problem. We can find it, and we also waste a ton of it. In your lifetime, you'll make millions of dollars. Most of it will go on false rewards. It'll go on those short-term, instant gratification type things that you really don't want in your life. And you won't necessarily pay off the longer term things that are actually more important for you. You'll just go, no, too hard, too big, too whatever. And unfortunately, our return on investment on those short-term instant gratification things are pretty small, if not negative. And the return on investment on the things that do take a little bit longer, they take some more persistence, they take you learning something, or being in a new energy or a new mindset. That's a different type of return on investment. It's usually anywhere from 10 to 100-fold, depending on what it is that you're investing in, and often how much you're investing in. I've often found the more that I'm investing, the scarier it is, but the bigger the return on investment it has been. So there's one. Another one is money. Then there's others. So we often use our others as our, well, let's call it our surrogate to blame about why we can't do something. So instantly it's like, oh, well, my boss won't give me enough time. I can't have more time off. I have to work 5 days a week. Oh, my spouse isn't on board with what it is that I'm doing, or doesn't understand, or doesn't want to know. I really wish they would. And until they are on board with me, I'm not willing to go forward. Or my kids, maybe you're putting off things until your kids are older and they're grown up and they can look after themselves. But that can still be a problem even when they're adults. You'll always find a reason why you can't move forward in favor of your heart. Overall, we're going for our love and approval of the people in our lives so that we can survive. It's just this inbuilt survival mechanism, and it holds us back from creating a level of wealth, business, love, fun, adventure, whatever it is that's being called to you or you're being called into. And we put it all on the back burner for everybody else. Another thing that can come up when we're faced with an opportunity to get involved with something that helps us to uplevel our lives is we go into a state of, oh, I've heard it all before. I know it already. So we take on this orientation of, there's nothing that I can get out of this more than what I've already gained, that I already know, and there's nothing fresh, nothing new under the sun. And of course, from that orientation, you can't learn anything new, and it isn't worthwhile investing in, because there is usually many ways of seeing different things. And if you're closed off to it because you think there's only one way and what your experience is the only truth, then you will be closed down. You won't even see it. You could invest in a course or a program or a mastermind and still not get anywhere with it because the doors are shut. Another one, it's too late for me. Oh, life, life has gone by. I missed my opportunities. I feel really bad about where I'm at. I'm not as far ahead as I should be. I get into comparison mode. And it's almost like, save yourselves, too late for me. Just move on, or I'll buy things to give my kids or my extended family, or my grandchildren, because I'm over the hill with this. It's too late. And actually, it's never too late. No matter what it is, you are going to be continuing to grow old, like we all are. I'm getting more wrinkles and all that sort of thing. But my heart still calls me into things, and it's not game over. Same for, I've still got both of my parents are alive, which is fantastic. And they have things that are calling them. And there's nothing better than watching them to continue to live their life fully and to be called forward into those moments. It's never too late, right? So we can't really refer to that as our excuse. You can turn your life around no matter what, as long as you've got the vision for where you're going. So that brings me to my final obstacle to why you're probably not creating what you'd like in your life and all the excuses in the world. You don't have a clear enough vision. And that's a very important thing. You've got to know what it is that you love, that it's actually true for you, and get very clear on it. So we employ a process that every day we're in contact with our vision, and we really feel it. We're in the end result of that vision. And we use that as part of a structure in order to help us unfold all the things that need to come about, need to orchestrate, need to take us from where we are currently into that end result becoming a reality. And this is where the magic begins. When we've got the strength of connection to that end result and we don't let it go, we don't compromise, we don't use all those excuses that we've just been talking about, time, money, others, I know it already, it's too late, all those things. I'm sure you've even got a few more you can add in here. That was just the top few. Then we can just keep that anchor point. And then we have to watch how life unfolds in favor of that end result. Start to let go of it or start to compromise, it gets wishy-washy. You're not going to end up with an end result. But starting with a very clear vision in mind and then dismissing the excuses as they come up one after the other, because there's always a counter to everything that you've got to tell me. Let's just see what happens. So let me know, what's it like for you holding a vision, knowing what your vision is, being strongly anchored in that, feeling the vision, and then facing those objections as they're coming up. What are your key objections? Maybe you've got some that you see more than others. Is it the time? Is it the money? Is it your spouse? Is it your kids? Let me know. Love to hear. All right, I'll see you soon.